Welcome, tech enthusiasts and ethical AI aficionados, to another episode of Mapping the AI Frontier. I'm Mark, your guide through the digital jungle of GenAI startups.
And I'm Tom, here to make sure we don't accidentally create Skynet while discussing the finer points of ethical AI. Remember, folks, even HAL 9000 started with good intentions.
Speaking of good intentions, today we're diving headfirst into the ethical ball pit of AI startups. We'll be exploring how to position your GenAI startup in the ethical landscape without getting a moral wedgie. Tom, got your ethical compass ready? All right, let's kick things off with a hard truth. In the world of GenAI, ethics isn't just a fancy buzzword to slap on your investor pitch deck. It's the secret sauce that could make or break your startup. Tom, care to elaborate without accidentally summoning the AI overlords?
Gladly, Mark. Imagine you're in a futuristic circus. Because let's face it, that's what the tech world feels like sometimes. You're walking a tightrope between two platforms. On one side, you've got cutting-edge innovation island, and on the other, responsible AI reef. Your job is to get to the other side without falling into the unethical abyss below. Oh, and did I mention the tightrope is made of spaghetti code?
Nothing like a good circus analogy to make ethical AI considerations more digestible. But seriously, folks, positioning your startup in this ethical landscape isn't just about avoiding a PR nightmare, although that's certainly a bonus. It's about creating a sustainable competitive advantage. Think of it as the ultimate power-up in the video game of startup success. Now, you might be wondering, how do I navigate this ethical minefield without blowing up my chances of success? Well, my friends, that's where our trusty sidekick, Wardley Mapping, comes in. It's like GPS for your startup's moral compass.
Exactly, Tom. Wardley Mapping isn't just for impressing your tech bros at Silicon Valley parties. It's a powerful tool for visualizing the ethical components of your business model. Think of it as creating a treasure map, but instead of X marking the spot for buried gold, you're marking the spots where ethical considerations intersect with your AI development.
Oh, I love a good treasure hunt. So what kind of X marks the spot are we looking at here, Mark? Hopefully not the kind that leads to a cave full of angry, ethically conscious AI bots.
Close, but not quite, Tom. We're talking about mapping out things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, transparency, and accountability. It's like creating a marauder's map for your startup, but instead of tracking mischief makers at Hogwarts, you're tracking potential ethical pitfalls in your AI development.
Now, listeners, here's where it gets really interesting. Positioning yourself in the ethical landscape isn't just about ticking boxes on a compliance checklist. It's about evolving from a rule follower to a trailblazer. Mark, care to explain without using the phrase paradigm shift?
Challenge accepted, Tom. Think of it this way. If ethical AI development were a video game, compliance would be like beating the tutorial level. But to really win the game, you need to start creating your own levels. That means going beyond just following the rules and actually setting new standards for ethical AI.
Ooh, I like that. So we're talking about startups becoming the Miyamoto of ethical AI development? Creating the Super Mario of responsible GenAI, if you will?
Exactly. And just like how Mario collects power-ups, your startup can collect ethical differentiators. These could be unique approaches to algorithmic transparency, innovative solutions for reducing AI's environmental impact, or pioneering new methods for ensuring data privacy. It's about turning ethical considerations from obstacles into superpowers.
All right, folks, it's time to put on your cartographer hats and dive into our Wardley map analysis. Tom, ready to explore this ethical terrain without falling into any moral sinkholes?
Ready as I'll ever be, Mark. Though I must say, this map looks less like a pirate's treasure map and more like a game of ethical Tetris. So, what's our first piece to place?
Well, according to our map, our hypothetical startup's actually in a pretty sweet spot when it comes to ethical AI. They've got a strong foundation in both ethical considerations and GenAI technology. It's like they've built their startup house on a rock, not sand. And that rock is made of ethical algorithms.
Ooh, ethical algorithms. Sounds like a great name for a tech-themed rock band. But seriously, what's the secret to their solid positioning?
Great question, Tom. The map shows they're doing well in areas like explainable AI and sustainability efforts. It's like they're not just creating AI, they're creating AI that can explain its actions. Kind of like a robot that can actually tell you why it chose to rise against humanity.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But I see they're also working on setting industry standards for ethical frameworks and audits. That's pretty impressive. They're not just playing the game, they're helping write the rulebook.
Exactly. And here's the real kicker. See how consumer trust and regulatory compliance are positioned as key anchors? That's the secret sauce right there. They're not treating ethics as an afterthought, but as the main ingredient in their AI recipe.
Ethical AI sauce. Delicious and responsible. But jokes aside, it looks like the map is suggesting that balancing technological advancement with ethical considerations is the key to long-term success. It's like they're doing a complex dance routine, and ethics is their dance partner.
A perfect analogy, Tom. And just like in dancing, it's all about keeping in step with your partner as the music, or in this case, the AI landscape, changes. The map shows that to maintain their leadership position, they'll need to keep innovating in areas like explainable AI, while also staying ahead of the curve on ethical standards.
So, in essence, this Wardley map is telling us that the path to ethical AI leadership is less of a straight line and more of a complex tango? Sounds like our startup needs to put on its dancing shoes.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Tom. And remember, folks, in the dance of ethical AI development, it's not just about avoiding stepping on toes, it's about leading the way to a more responsible and trustworthy AI future. Now, shall we tango on to our conclusion? Well, folks, we've navigated the treacherous waters of ethical AI positioning, mapped out the moral high ground, and even done a little ethical tango along the way. Remember, in the world of GenAI startups, ethics isn't just a nice-to-have. It's your secret weapon for long-term success.
Absolutely, Mark. We've learned that positioning your startup in the ethical landscape is less about avoiding the naughty list and more about becoming the Santa Claus of responsible AI, delivering the gifts of innovation while checking your list twice for ethical considerations.
Couldn't have put it better myself, Tom. So, dear listeners, as you go forth to conquer the AI frontier, remember to pack your ethical compass, your Wardley map, and maybe a pair of dancing shoes. For more insights on navigating the GenAI landscape, check out our book, Navigating the AI Frontier, Wardley Mapping for GenAI Startups. Until next time, keep your AI ethical and your algorithms responsible.